Good morning. This is Stephanie Kenner, part of the Learning and Development team at My Local Aggregation. Thank you for joining us today. Today we're covering your digital brand, and this is being presented by our very good partners, Reach Local, who are really the gurus and experts in this space. Today we're going to be talking about online presence and you as business owners understanding your online presence, understanding how people find you. The landscape has really changed over the last 5 or 10 years in terms of where mortgage customers go to find out who's going to provide those mortgage services. We're going to be talking about your online presence, about key factors and how customers choose a home loan solution. And we're going to explore the path to purchase and how digital media can really help you achieve your business goals. We're also going to be joined, part of Reach Local is Nicole, and we're also going to be joined from Stefan, who is going to be speaking from the Sydney office. So we've got both Melbourne and Sydney here today. And his area of expertise is search engine optimization and understanding keywords and the best strategy and pricing. So today's session will run close to 1 hour. We encourage you to ask questions along the way. So I can see most of you have found the Q&A box or the chat section. So as we go, any thoughts that occur to you, so you may have had questions or challenges or things that have occurred in the past with your social media digital campaigns that you're curious about, please put those in there and we'll either cover those as we go or we'll address those at the very end. So the plan is for us to have about 30 or 40 minutes worth of content and then leave enough time at the end for both Stefan and Nicole to have a chat to you and go and dive in a little bit deeper to some of those questions and concerns that you might have. Today's session is recorded, and within the next couple of days this will be available on the My Local Aggregation website. And if you would like it prior to that, just please let me know and I will get an email out to you with that. Fantastic. So I think we're ready to start now. And I will hand over to Nicole at this point. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Really looking forward to it, and I know everybody else is. We've got a couple of people that have joined us that were a part of our professional development days, both in Sydney and Melbourne, so this will be a great session to really refresh and recap some of those points and give people the opportunity to ask questions. I can also see there's a lot of new people here that perhaps aren't members, so thanks for joining us. Over to you, Nicole.
Great, thank you. So as Stephanie mentioned, Stefan and I are here to really help you understand the current digital landscape and how digital marketing can help businesses like yours grow in the new online space. So I would love to hear from you. So please, as I'm going through this or as Stefan is moving through this, feel free to send us a chat. We would love to keep this more conversational. It makes it a lot more fun that way. So just a little bit about my background. So I'm not sure if you've heard my voice, but I am American. I'm from Chicago, and I've been in digital advertising and media for about 14 years now. I started off just working for startups and things like that, and one of my first things that I did was I worked with Facebook when they first launched in the US. When Facebook first launched in the United States, you had to be a college student or a uni student, and you had to have a .edu email address. So I was part of one of the original beta testers of Facebook and stuck with it ever since. But I've been with Reach Local for about 7 years now, and I started with the US team, and I've moved over here to Australia for about 5 years now, and I've been helping local businesses like yours grow ever since. So I'm really happy to be part of the My Local Aggregation group. They're a great partner to have, and I hope that we can provide some value to all of you. So just a little bit more information about the company itself. So again, we're a global agency, and we were founded in 2004 in the United States, and we've been in Australia for about 10 years now. We are global, as I mentioned, so we are across 5 continents. We have local offices all across Australia and New Zealand. So for those of you who are in Perth or Adelaide or Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Canberra, as well as Auckland, we have offices available with local representation. We've delivered quite a few leads to local businesses, and we have quite a few active clients with us. And I guess one of the backbones of our business is the fact that we have such strong partnerships with Google, Bing, and Facebook. We're a Google Premier Partner on a global level, and as well as Bing and Facebook. And what that really means is that they've held us to a higher standard. So they require us to deliver great results on their behalf, and they keep us accountable for that. And in the same respect, they've also given us awards for the delivery of the service and the delivery of our technology across the board. So just a little bit about us. Now, I'd like to start off with just some general information about digital advertising in Australia and what the opportunity is online. So there's over 20 million people online in Australia, and for the most part, we use it all the time. So for anyone who's on the phone, I'm sure the first thing you did when you woke up today was grab your phone, shut off your alarm, and you've checked your email, you've checked your Facebook, you've done something online or on your phone. And some of you know, it's like an extension of your arm, but for the most part, you know, it is something that we use on a daily basis anytime that we need it. Now, the same, you know, with the situation with the phone, right? We've sort of migrated. PCs used to be the primary way we would search online. If we were going to get on the internet, we'd have to go to our computer, log into the internet, and go online. But again, because the smartphone is an extension of our right arms these days, it's the biggest thing that we use to access the internet. So we go on Google, we go on Safari, we go on whatever browser you're using on your phone, and anytime you have a question or anytime you're in need of any product or service, it's easy for us to access it online, and we just, you know, do a search, and there we are. Now on Facebook, I get a lot of questions about this, you know, how can I reach my market? They're primarily older people, or, you know, only the young kids use Facebook. I hear that a bit as well. But as you can see, while yes, the younger generation, everyone is on Facebook, we still have our older generation in the 50s and 65 plus that are active on Facebook as well. And the reason for that is because it's easy to connect, and it's easy for them to engage. I know that personally, I've got a son, and he, you know, with my family being in the US, all the grandparents are on Facebook, all the aunts and uncles, and they want to be able to engage and see people online as well. So we spend a great deal of time on Facebook every day, 1.7 hours. It seems like a lot of time, but you know, if you're on it 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there over the course of the day, it really, you know, can add up. And after you've, you know, put the kids to bed, or you're just relaxing on the couch while you're watching TV, some of us just click through Facebook, and it, you know, it's a way for us to engage with the online community. All right, so this is the path to purchase that I'd like to kind of mention. If you think about the last thing that you have purchased online, there is a combination of both online and offline influences when you've made that purchase. So I know a lot of you get a lot of your referrals from word of mouth, and I hear that from the mortgage broker industry quite a bit. You know, I've got referrals from this person, that person. When the reality is that's great, and that there's nothing that will ever, you know, stop that from occurring, and you should promote that within your network. But the conjunction of both offline referrals and your online presence are a really strong combination. So I guess the thing you should do is ask yourself, does your online presence, does your online review, does your online persona match what your offline persona is? So the people that you're referring, that are being referred to you, the great things that are being said about your business, is that easy to be seen online? Is that the reputation that you have online? Because if I'm going to go online, even if I get a referral and, you know, oh, you know, I worked with Bob, he was a great broker, well, great, the first thing I'm personally going to do is go online and do some research about him, and find out about his business and find out what kind of track record he has and that sort of thing. So that's a really, important question you need to ask yourself to make sure that your online presence matches your offline. All right, so now I want to get into some more information about your particular industry. And these are some stats that we've uncovered. Now, 63% of people without a home loan are looking to apply within the next 2 years. And what that really means is that you've got a huge opportunity and a huge share of the market to be able to tap into. And while, again, your referral base is a great opportunity for you to cash in on some of that, a lot of these people are going to go online and they are going to find a broker through some other aspect online. Now, with the official cash rates holding steady, again, I'm sure there's a lot of speculation out there about what's going to happen with the market. But again, now is the time that people are going to be looking to refinance and they're going to be looking for the opportunity to invest. So now is the time that you need to, sort of tap into other outlets to be able to secure leads and convert those into customers. Now, there's some great stats here that represent you as a mortgage broking resource. So there's over 56% of the industry is owned by the brokers. So you've sort of taken over the banks, which is a great thing. And the reason for that is that people want a good deal, and they feel that if they go to a mortgage broker, they're going to be able to get an unbiased view, they're going to get a great rate, and they're not going to have, a bank sort of giving them a one-sided discussion about what is the best thing for them. So there, again, it just talks to the opportunity that you have online. Now, this is a little bit of a busy slide, but I think there's some really important numbers on this slide. The big one being right there in the middle with the number 1 under price sensitivity. So 50% of people go with a mortgage broker because they wanted the best deal. And 29% of them did it because it made it easy. So that comes down to your customer service and how you work with your clients, and the combination of using the Chief software with the customer service is going to help you win over more consumers in this market. So that's just again, another thing online where you need to have the software in conjunction with the customer service in order to sort of win the market these days. Now, this is a really interesting slide, and these numbers actually surprised me. If you look at the top row there, you've got 33% of people want to apply for their home loan online. And the reason for that is, I think it's because it makes it easy. It makes it so that you can upload all of your documents. There's not a whole lot of running around, but they also still need a broker to give advice. And the big number on the slide is that 77% of people are going to use digital advertising, or they're going to use online to do research about when, how, rates, all of those things when they're looking to consider to buy their new home, to refinance. That's the first place they're going to go. So what that number means is that 77% of the people that are going online to find home loans these days, if you're not there online, then you're not an option for them. You are not going to be part of the last 2 or 3 people that they consider when they go with a mortgage broker. So just think about where you are online and whether or not you're going to be able to capture that market while they're researching. So how can digital help your business grow from good to great? So 2018 is quickly approaching, and we've got a huge opportunity next year to be able to make some big decisions with your business. So just some things to consider. You need to reach a larger audience in your local area. So again, people want to work with local. So the people that are in your area, are they able to find you? What does your online presence say about your business? And are they able to reach you when they're looking for you online? When you're looking to advertise online, you need to target consumers that are looking for your services. So again, the path to purchase, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go on Google and I'm going to do a search for mortgage brokers in my local area, or I'm going to look for a refinance in my local area. When you do that search on Google, if you go right now and do a search on Google, where does your business show in that list in the Google search results? If you're not there, then you don't have an opportunity to capture those businesses, or capture that business. Tracking. So do you know where your leads are coming from right now? Again, I think a lot of you will probably say it's word of mouth and that sort of thing, but if you're going to do advertising online, you need to track it and you need to understand what's working best for you. And that's kind of what we can help you do, is get a better return on your hard-earned cash, so a better return on investment. You know, I gotta say, marketing's only expensive if it doesn't work, and that's what our job is to make you money using advertising. All right, so I'm gonna pass this over to Stefan. Oops, do we have? I think this is the wrong deck. Just give us 1 second here.
Okay, we are going to keep going. We've just realised that we have missed a couple of slides that we really wanted to present in this deck. So if you don't mind, just give us 30 seconds to switch them over. In the meantime, you can ask any questions, and I'm just going to put you on mute for a moment. Hi everyone, we're back on. We've just retrieved the slides that we've lost, and I'm just going to ask Nicole to revisit some of those because I think they're really key to what we're talking about today.
Thanks, Stephanie, and sorry about that, everyone. Now, just to give you some insight into what's happening online with your industry, I did a couple of searches yesterday just to see what's going on online. And what this shows is how many people are searching throughout the year. So this was in 2017, and it shows the search volume spikes. This is based on Google search. Now, for the most part, as you can see, over the Christmas break, there is a bit of a lull, right? So people are not going to refinance their home loan over Christmas. But what you will see is that with every single one of these searches, they spike in January. And the reason for that is because you've got your New Year's resolutions, new year, new me. You just had the whole family at your home and you realize it's too small or it's not right or whatever the case, right? So you tend to make big life changes and decisions during January. So while right now is not the perfect time to start advertising, it's the perfect time to start thinking about it and to start building your campaign so that when January 1 flicks over, you are the person that is in front of people as they're looking for you online. All right, so now I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Stefan. So Stefan has been in media for over 10 years, and he's worked with me for about over 6 years at Reach Local. And Stefan is my Austrian friend who he started off as an account manager at Reach Local, just helping local businesses like you grow. And he's now moved into a specialist role as the SEO program manager. Now, Stefan is going to talk to you about the top 5 myths of SEO. So some things you've probably heard online, or maybe you've previously had an SEO provider that hadn't delivered the right results for you. So he'll give you some insight into what to look for and to kind of set you straight on what the current landscape with search engine optimization is. Stefan, are you around?
Yes, I'm here, Nicole. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction, and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining the webinar today. Nicole has already given you a little bit of background about myself and I guess why I'm talking to you today. Look, really we want to focus today, or my part of the presentation, really quite heavily around SEO or search engine optimization, and specifically for your industry that tends to be a little bit more, I guess, research driven, certain things that we've already heard about where, consumers look for local information. It is about research, it is about uncovering, I guess, the best deals, etc. And what we've found, what I found specifically in the marketplace over the years, specific to SEO, is that there are quite a few, I guess, misconceptions and myths out there around, SEO being a little bit more of a dark art. And today, it's really about lifting the lid on a lot of those misconceptions and potential myths. So hopefully, as we go through, there'll be potentially questions later on that might be specific to each and every one of you. But obviously, part of the Q&A, I'd encourage you to ask any kind of questions that you have around any of those myths that I'm going to cover off, or potentially any other myths that you might have heard yourself. So look, we're going to cover off, as I said, the top 5. Point number 1, and these are quite specific to, as I already mentioned, what we hear in the marketplace when we go see customers, potential customers, etc. Number 1 really is one of the most common ones. It's all about the keywords, or it's all about the keyword rank. Number 2, local SEO is not important, and I think it's probably one of my favourite ones. It's really untrue, right? Local SEO is absolutely critical to any business, even online businesses. Sort of relating back to what Nicole said, people want local information, and people want information as a whole. SEO can be done on the cheap. If I had $1 for every time I heard that, I'd be a very wealthy man. Number 4, my SEO company is not transparent. One that I probably hear every second time I sit in front of a client. And I want to finish off giving you a couple of quick, I guess, 5 super simple free SEO tips. So number 1, keywords. Do they matter? It's really about understanding keywords and SEO. Keywords and keyword research is still really important, but keywords alone are not the be all and end all. It's really about understanding how they matter to SEO, and probably more so how they matter in context to a query or a question about your products or services. It's about understanding the user intent, and also it's about understanding user intent and also how Google now can interpret natural language. Google has become so advanced and evolved that they're really, really good now at actually identifying similar terms for certain search queries, as well as the contextual content around a keyword. So really understanding the kind of questions that we as consumers or your potential consumers might ask. However, keyword positions are really no longer important. There's a lot of people that, you know, when we go out and talk to them, oh, you know, I want to be in position 1, or I've seen my competitor in position 1 or position 2, but it's really all about relevant traffic. It's about visibility and probably most importantly, about conversions into customers and or conversion into purchases. If we go back a few years, it used to all be about, you know, stuffing keywords into a website, and then it sort of changed into it's all about how often you use keywords, so the frequency, the density of those used. But it's really more about the overall site quality and site authority. It's about looking at and understanding the bigger picture. It's also critical to consider consistency and placement of keywords. And I don't want to go too technical today, but, you know, the placement in the first and the last paragraph, and really using content on a website to uncover and educate, and having the consistency of keywords both in your metadata, your content, links and images, etc., etc. It's also about having a variety of keyword strategies, optimizing to broader keywords and queries, obviously for branding and traffic acquisition potential, but also query type searches. What is, how to, and especially in this industry, for all of you, it is really about research. People want information. People are hungry for it. And I think if we sort of put ourselves into the customer's shoes, we would probably be quite the same. And it's also about optimizing to hyper-targeted or specialty terms. Think about your points of differences that you can offer, that you can bring to the market, your potential customers as well. And obviously then looking at, you know, niche keywords, long tail keywords, queries, as I already said, for the ultimate conversion potential via the content that we develop. So it's really not about a singular or individual keyword. It's about context. It's about content. It's about answering a question. Keywords in the future of SEO. Look, they're always going to matter, but it is key to understand how and why, as we already said. If you consider, this is a statistic I read the other day, the rise in voice search, which is expected to grow by to 30% of all search queries by 2020. Again, you know, we all want information, especially when it comes to, you know, mortgages, home loans, etc., etc. Having quality content on your website and considering the intent of that searcher by using the keywords within that content to answer that question actually has the ability to funnel people down that online journey, the purchasing journey, the research journey, right from awareness through to consideration to purchase. So in summary, keywords do matter, but rankings don't, and it's really about context. There's quite a good, I guess, little quote from Google that I wanted to sort of give you and share with you today. It's, you know, Google suggests that content is king, but context is queen. And I'm going to leave you with that to summarize our, I guess, point number 1 around keywords. Location. Google targeting. So considering your location, understanding your location in proximity to your target audience or target market. Really, really critical. And as we already said, you know, local SEO has become an important strategy for any business online, targeting customers who are ready to buy and looking to buy local. The way in which Google now targets and considers the location has significantly changed. I went to see a customer earlier this year. It was a local doctor, and he'd tried running various online campaigns, including SEO. We sat down, we started talking, and it soon became clear that several things were clearly not working, and he even acknowledged that himself. And he was unsure if he ever really wanted to trust anyone again. It was quite a frosty reception when I first walked in, and he told me straight to my face, you know, the whole online marketing thing, especially the SEO, it's like a dark art. It's like eating at a bad restaurant that leaves a bad taste in your mouth, or even being, as he sort of put it, in an unhappy relationship where there is no clarity, there's lots of unsurety, and it's also really confusing with no direction. And I'm sure probably most of you on the call have either had that experience before or at least know that feeling that I'm talking about. I actually felt really bad, and especially when he told me that, oh yeah, I target all of Sydney. My customer base is all throughout Sydney. And look, I know that most of you are probably sitting in Melbourne, but you know, not too dissimilar. You know, quite a large geographical area and geographical space. And look, we went through some fact finding to build on his current strategy, and we found that really purely down to the lack of clarity in understanding his customers, their needs, their intentions when they were searching for his products or services, that the whole approach that he had sort of put together was simply not going to work. Together we brainstormed and we worked on, you know, learning more about why and how his prospective customers would search. Then, you know, obviously then explored relevant solutions that would consider, you know, not just his business, but also the search engine for SEO purposes, as well as their journey online. As I already mentioned, Google will consider the searcher's location in proximity to a business, unless otherwise indicated by a searcher. So to give you an example, if I'm looking for a doctor or a dentist or a local or a doctor or dentist near me, Google will preference that business that is closest to my current location, the searcher's location. A couple of really quick but very, very powerful stats. 78% of local searches result in an offline purchase. And over 71% of people will check and confirm a business address before they make a purchase or visiting a business for the first time. We, the customers, we actively look for and want local information. Think local and it will help you drive more targeted traffic, target consumers who are ready to buy, boost offline sales and appease Google and stay ahead of the competition. Create some optimized contact us pages and or location pages. Separate optimized pages for each location you might have. Ensure that your name, address and phone number profile, NAP, are 100% correct, because if they're not, Google will simply not trust that you are a local business servicing a particular area. And have location-specific content. Have Google My Business listings optimized and also manage your reviews. People will buy of people, and I think, especially in your industry, this will ring very true. So in summary, local SEO is key for any business's SEO strategy. Going into my next point, one of my favorites, price. And unfortunately, you know, you get what you pay for. And I'm going to cover off 5 costly mistakes to avoid as we sort of go through this particular point. What will it cost is one of the most common questions that we get asked, you know, both when it comes to traditional advertising, but also predominantly in our day-to-day lives. The issue that we often encounter is that SEO isn't an exact science. You know, unfortunately, 2 + 2 in this instance doesn't necessarily equal 4. And the question I always ask, does price alone determine quality? Most of you would have been exposed to one of the many offers floating around there in the marketplace. Some promise unlimited keywords for a certain amount, $99 to obtain position 1 in the organic ranking space, performance-based packages. For example, if we don't get you to page 1 within a certain time frame, you don't have to pay. And there's probably millions more out there as well. In Australia, only 9% of businesses spend $500 or less on their SEO services, with about 26% of businesses investing about $1,000 per month, and 29% of businesses spending anywhere between $1,000 and $2,500, with the remaining percentage spending above that. It really depends on what you want to achieve, your website, your competition, your industry, and most importantly, what's included. The question of price and cost often comes up in our daily lives. When buying a house, a car, a holiday for you and the family, and I actually recently booked our first holiday to Europe with our 8-month-old son, and I was quite concerned not just about the cost of traveling and the holiday in general, but taking the little one on such a long trip. We've probably all been on a plane, the feeling of excitement of a holiday, the stress of planning finally behind us. You order your first drink, well, if you're me anyway, you lean back, you close your eyes, you imagine the great things that you're going to look forward to on this holiday. And then the baby screams, and it goes on for the majority of the flight. The guy in front of you reclines his seat right into your face. You realize that your in-flight entertainment doesn't work, and you think to yourself, why did I not book myself into business or first class? Now, for me, the answer usually is I can't afford it. But then you get to your destination, and the hotel is not what the pictures promised. It's actually quite the opposite. Well, sometimes spending money on advertising can be quite similar. You make a quick decision, it's the cheapest option, you can't be bothered to think about it, and you end up paying more, for example, for the upgrade of the flight back, which I did, and or changing hotels to the option that you should have initially chosen. And my father used to always say to me, he who buys cheap buys expensive. I never really understood that concept until recently, and something that is ringing true more and more often. And it is something, as I said, that we see quite often in the marketplace. So let's have a look at, if you're only focusing on cost or price of SEO and digital marketing, I guess, as a whole, let's have a look at some of the costly mistakes that you can potentially avoid. And number one recommendation is don't just rely on SEO. Now, this probably sounds very strange coming from me, but SEO really should build the foundation of the wider marketing strategy. It's like the foundation of a house, if you will. It's complemented by other activities such as page search, display, social, and many more. And I think in the next sort of part, Nicole is going to talk to you more about some of the other, I guess, solutions that are out there for you to help you improve your online presence and your ability to generate more visibility for your brand and leads online. It is absolutely key to target customers at multiple stages of their online journey via a multitude of channels and effectively influencing that path to purchase to obtain those conversions that we need. The right content, the right keyword strategies working together have the ability, as we already mentioned, to push potential customers further down this path by providing them with information and answers to specific queries that have landed them to your site. Having poor quality and or duplicated content. Content is the number one ranking factor and one of the most important elements of SEO. Not doing the proper research and or planning. Understand your audience, their intent, and also what they might want from your business, your products, your services, and or your brand. And then build your strategy around that. Cheaper SEO solutions will often bypass this critical planning stage. Number 4, not having the right expectations set. Time is key, and SEO is a long-term solution and should not be considered as an immediate lead generator. There's only about 4% of websites that rank on page 1 of Google within a year of new websites. With SEO, and this is our final point for this section, one size does definitely not fit all and is not a once-off quick trial. SEO strategies should be bespoke to every website and to each business, and what works for you might not work for the next person and vice versa. In Australia, on average, 42% of businesses now run SEO strategies with no minimum term. So I'm not really setting an end date to that strategy because the industry and the landscape does change so often. So in summary, price unfortunately does often determine quality when it comes to SEO. Number, 5 important questions to ask about your SEO company and I guess about your SEO strategy. And this is, one of the points that I really want to make very clear. It is ultimately up to you to ask the right questions for the best outcome. Something, again, experience tells us that, myself, we could recommend anything, but unless we've asked the right questions, what are you really going to recommend? And it's very similar for your industry as well, I assume. So let's go through these questions. How will you measure success? Traffic, website visibility, conversions, and ultimately revenue growth or ROI would be some of the answers that I would be looking for from the potential agency. Number 2, what strategies do you or will you use? So I'd be looking for them conducting audits, working both on on-site and off-site SEO optimization, improving conversions over time, considering user experience, technical SEO optimization in line with industry updates, and this is most important, measuring, tracking, and reporting are all absolutely key. How will I be able to track progress and work completed? So if I were you, I'd be looking for monthly reporting for the company or the provider to be requesting access to Google Analytics, even lists of activities that they've completed or activities that they're looking to complete for the following month. Do you offer guarantees? Now, this is a bit of a trick question because the answer there should always be no. And look, some people might argue that good things take time, but I'm probably a little bit more cynical, and the simple reason is no one can control Google apart from Google. And lastly, I'd be asking about experience within your industry for potential referrals, for case studies, because good providers generally would be able to provide those. So in summary, as I already mentioned, it's really up to you to ask the right questions. And lastly, 5 super simple free SEO tips for your business. Clearly define your requirements, plan, take your time to get the strategy right, and leverage your agency. Sit down together with them. This isn't something that can be turned on and off at will, and something that can be done very quickly. Get referrals, as we already said in the previous point. Ask about experience in your industry specifically. Be patient. I'm going to use the line here, good things take time. And also work with the company, be involved for the best outcome. And lastly, and this is something that I really want to put out there, it's try not to micromanage. A good agency will keep you informed and up to date. With SEO, if we review results daily and or weekly, that simply means that, the time we could be spending on actually working on your strategy and your campaign is used up, to sort of report intermittently. And it's really about conducting monthly reports and reviews, or even, detailed quarterly analysis. And look, I guess to sort of summarize and in conclusion, SEO isn't simple. It takes time, involvement, thought, and planning to execute effectively. And this doesn't just apply to SEO. This really does apply to the wider digital mix, or wider, I guess, space of digital marketing. Now, that brings my section to an end. I'd like to hand back over to Nicole. Nicole, thank you so much for facilitating and running through the slides for me. I'm going to flick back over to you now, if that's okay.
Thank you, Stefan. That was really, really helpful, and appreciate all of your patience with that. If there's any questions, again, feel free to shoot them through in the chat, and we'll be able to answer that. Stefan's going to hang around at the end, and we'll flip our webcams on so you can meet us in person, and we're happy to have a chat. So yeah, just to kind of recap what Stefan was saying, building your online presence is really like building a skyscraper. And if you don't have a solid foundation at the bottom, it's hard to build upon that. So having a website is your cornerstone. You need to have a website to be online, but having a website's, an important thing, but it's not good enough. It's like having a billboard out in the desert. It's great to have it there, but there's not going to be very many people who see it. So without search engine optimization and without, helping to build your online presence, you're not going to get the traffic through to your website and ultimately the leads through to your business. So just to kind of recap again as a reminder, you need to be able to reach that audience in your local area, and make sure that the people that are looking for your products and services can find you. Make sure that you're tracking it, and make sure that you're making a return on your investment from your marketing spend. So as Stefan mentioned, we work with a total sort of online solution. So there's different elements to this. You can advertise online, you need to be online, and then you've got the software and technology behind it in order to drive all of this. So when you're looking to spend money on advertising, you've got Reach Search, which is Google advertising, or Bing. So if someone goes to a search engine and they type in a product or service that you provide, are you there online? We can help you out with that. Reach Social Ads. So are you promoting your brand on Facebook? Are you reaching an audience with your promotions? Are you setting the stage to be able to provide your local market with the products and services that you provide? Again, we can help with that. Retargeting. So you've spent money driving people to your website. Not everyone's going to make a decision on their home loan the first search that they do. They're going to search around. So to keep your brand top of mind throughout that buying process, are you putting your ad back in front of those people who have already visited your website? We have a cool new product. We're the only provider in Australia who can do this at the moment. It's called GeoFence, where we can actually target people who are in a specific area. So for those of you who are mortgage brokers, an idea would be to put some targeting around a new development site, people that are going into the display home or obviously in the market for a new loan, and we can put your ad in front of those people that are visiting that area. Now, Total Live Chat, this is something that you guys have seen on websites. You've probably seen it on My Local Broker, and what that is it's a 24/7 manned chat service, so that when people are at your website and they're looking to refinance their home loan at 8 o'clock at night when the kid's gone to bed, well, none of you are working, no one's online, but that chat is there to help capture that lead when someone's interested in your information. And we've seen quite a bit of success with the My Local group using that product. As you mentioned, Stefan, SEO is a foundation for all of your online presence. You need to make sure that your website is ranking and that it can be found online. And we also have top of the line software. We've won awards from Google from an innovation perspective because we can actually tell you which of these avenues is generating the most return on investment for you, and then give you advice on where you should be spending your marketing dollars in order to get the best bang for your buck. So that's kind of the solutions that we offer. We can give you a free web presence report that kind of tells you where you are online, how you're doing, and where we can offer some assistance. So if anyone's interested, definitely let me know after the fact, and I'll be able to help you out with that. Now, I've got a couple offers here, and I know some of you are members of the My Local group, and some of you who are just considering it. So these are some offers that we're able to provide for the members. Now we've got Reach SEO. We've got our product promotion going on right now. So if you sign up for 6 months, we'll give you the 7th month for free. And the same thing, if you sign up for a year contract, we'll give you 2 extra additional months for free. So that's good through the 15th of December. So if you have any interest in that, please let me know, and we'll start the discussion with that. Same thing with Facebook. So Facebook, the usage increases in December by 26%, which means that you have a huge opportunity to get in front of people that are, hanging around their families' homes and they've got nothing to do but be on Facebook. And that's your opportunity to influence them and get your branding out there. So again, until the 15th of this month, we're offering sign up for 4 cycles of Facebook ads, and we'll give you the next 2 for free, which is a great offer that Facebook has given us to help promote some branding in your market. So I've just got some takeaway tips to send you away with before we go to a Q&A. As a reminder, make sure you have an up-to-date online presence. So make sure that your name, address, and phone number, as Stefan mentioned, is accurate online, and everywhere it's listed, it matches. Make sure that your website is representative of your brand and people are able to get a hold of you. Make sure that people can find you. If you do a Google search for your brand online or the products or services that you do, are you listed there? If you're not listed there, then you're missing out on an opportunity to capture leads. Digital is now. So again, we looked at the stats early in the presentation. Everyone's online. Everyone uses their smartphone online. Over 50% of searches are done on our mobile device. So it's the new industry, and to make sure that your online presence matches your reputation offline. Put your customer service first. Again, that is what sets you guys apart, and that's what people go to brokers for. They want a good deal, but they also want your experience and your knowledge to be able to help them out. So if you get a lead through your website, make sure that you're staying on top of it and that you nurture it through. And figure out who your target audience is, right? So you make sure that you're advertising to the right market at the right time and to the people who want to do business with you. Cool, well that's me. So if there are any questions about anything, I'd love to hear from you. I'm gonna go on webcam and say hi to everybody. Hello.
Fantastic.
Stefan, hello.
That was excellent. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Stefan. Some really great points there. And one thing that I particularly resonated with, Nicole, that you were speaking about is ensuring that your brand matched your online presence.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really key. And, particularly when we look at Facebook, is ensuring that you have a professional profile there. Sometimes there's a temptation to share some of the personal things that occur in your life, but it's not really how you need to be looking at gaining customers and building rapport.
That's absolutely right. And there's a difference between a personal profile and your business profile. So that's also a really important thing. So thanks for that stuff. To make sure that you have a business page set up on Facebook. and to make sure, as she mentioned, that it is professional. It does match your branding. You have the right logo. You've got your information on there. The other thing is you can put reviews on Facebook now, and a lot of people do that. So for your good customers that you have offline, and they're happy with the service you provided, ask them to write a review for you. Ask them to put that on your Facebook business page, because all it does is it helps ensure that your future customers can trust your brand.
Exactly right. Compared to many other industries, such as restaurants as an example, they have so many different platforms where customers can post reviews, and that's very well known. Whereas in the mortgage space, it's basically on Google or Facebook.
Absolutely.
So unless you're putting your testimonials up on your website, they're the two other avenues where you can get those reviews and testimonials and post them.
Definitely. Yeah. The other thing that is sort of a free piece of advice is when you do a search for your business on Google, the map listing will come up, and that's an opportunity for you to claim that listing. You can make sure that your information is up to date on that. You can add photos. You can, again, promote reviews online, because the more you build out that listing, the more relevancy you're going to have in the Google search results. And it's something that you can do for free. So after this, do a Google search for your business online, see what your listing shows, and then let me know if you need help, and we can help you work through what that could mean for your business.
Absolutely. It's always good to put yourself in the shoes of your potential customer and see it through their eyes. Any questions, please send those through. Yes, we do have a recording available for today, and we'll get that out to you, and also a copy of the slides as well for whoever would like those. Nicole or Stefan, so what are some of the basic things you might recommend to the brokers that they can do online to help get their web presence up?
Do you want to take that one, Stefan? Oh, I think you're on mute. 1 second, Stefan.
Sorry, I've taken myself off mute.
There you go.
A lot of that we've already covered off. I mean, essentially, making sure that your website is up to date. Your website is managed. You've got quality content on your website. It's really not just about you, with all due respect. It's really about understanding what customers are looking for. Leverage some of those free, assets such as, Google Analytics that can track what people are actually doing on your website. And from that data, you can then make ongoing adjustments across the board, from an SEO point of view, from a user experience point of view, or come chat to us. I mean, that Google My Business page, the Google Maps, Nicole, that you touched on, it's a free asset, a free tool. It's fantastic. It's really about leveraging all of the different elements online, linking your social media pages to your website, because if I'm engaging with you on social media, I need to be able to quickly and easily come through to your site. Now, those what we call social signals are relevant to SEO as well, and improve user experience. Linking your Google My Business page, and probably the one big thing, reviews, reputations, as Nicole said, they need to be managed. They need to be up to date. They need to be monitored. They need to be responded to. And that sometimes can be a job in itself, but people will buy from people moreover than any kind of advertising. And I think we've probably, all made that experience before. So it's really about making sure that all of the different assets that make up your web presence are managed, are up to date, and that you're across your customers and their engagement.
Yeah, fantastic.
Great. Are there any other questions for us? We've got a couple minutes left.
What we might do as well, Nicole, maybe share our email addresses at the end with all the attendees. If there are questions that might, people don't want to ask now, that might be a bit more specific to each individual business or broker or person. It's something that we can obviously take offline. We can schedule a meeting with you, just an initial discussion. Obviously, it is really about fact finding and understanding your business specifically. So obviously that is always going to be another option following today's session as well.
Fantastic. We'll get an email out this afternoon to everybody with
Great.
your details, and also a copy of the recording. A couple of people have asked for, to make sure that you can revisit some of those key points.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for your time today. I hope you learned something from Stefan and I. It's really our job to be able to help educate the market on the best way to build your online presence and get the return on investment that you're after. So again, we'll share our details. Give us a shout. There's no stupid questions, so don't be shy. We're happy to help you out.
Excellent. Thank you for attending. For those of you that are members, we have 2 more webinars this week, and that's it for this year. Tomorrow is the Chief Campfire, which is the interactive session to help you solve any questions or challenges you have with the use of Chief and Base. And on Thursday, it's Equifax, so formerly VEDA, and looking at the basics of credit reports, how to read them and how to provide that service to your clients. We will be announcing our new webinar program early in the new year to all of you, so stay tuned via email, and we'll keep you posted. So thank you to Stefan, thanks Nicole, and for everyone, have a really safe time over the holidays and hope you get some good rest, and we'll see you next year. Bye-bye.
Thank you. See ya.
Bye. Thank you.